A massive comeback is brewing and it's going to shake up Formula One. A team stuck at the back of the F1 grid is quietly assembling the pieces for a game-changing comeback in 2025. If you're thinking Haas, think again. Realistically, they have zero chance. We're talking about Williams, a team that once terrorized the competition, ripping through 9 Constructors' Championships like a force of nature. Now, this former giant is crawling at the back of the pack, barely surviving. But here's the real shocker: despite years of humiliation and crushing defeats, the paddock is buzzing with rumours that Williams might be on the brink of a comeback so unbelievable it could rewrite F1 history. How did they fall from grace so spectacularly? And more importantly, could they really pull off the most jaw-dropping resurrection the sport has ever seen? This is the rise, catastrophic collapse, and the explosive rumours of a Williams comeback that could send shockwaves through Formula One. In the 1980s and 90s, Williams wasn't just another team, they were a dynasty. With 9 Constructors' Championships, they didn't just beat the competition, they obliterated them. But what made their dominance truly terrifying wasn't just the number of titles they racked up, it was how effortlessly they did it. Without the financial muscle of a major car manufacturer, Williams became the ultimate underdog, fueled by the brilliance of Sir Frank Williams and engineering wizard Sir Patrick Head. They didn't just compete, they redefined what it meant to be a champion. They made bold, sometimes reckless decisions, but they always paid off, until suddenly, everything started to unravel. May 1st, 1994, one of the darkest days in Formula One history. Ayrton Senna, one of the greatest drivers ever to grace the sport, crashed at the San Marino Grand Prix. He had joined Williams that season, aiming to extend his legendary status, but instead, the unimaginable happened. Senna's death wasn't just a loss, it was a seismic event that shook Williams to its core. The psychological impact was profound, and while the team soldiered on, they were never the same. But the challenges didn't stop there. Williams was about to enter the most challenging period of its storied history. With their hearts heavy and minds clouded, Williams stepped into a new era, one defined by uncertainty, change, and an unrelenting series of blows. The late 90s brought with it the first cracks in Williams' armour. The departure of Renault, their engine partner, who had powered them to glory, was a devastating blow. Suddenly, Williams was scrambling for answers, turning to Mecachrome, an outdated substitute that couldn't keep pace with the demands of the sport. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get any worse, they did. In 1997, Adrian Newey, the mastermind behind their championship-winning designs, left for McLaren, taking with him the creative spark that had set Williams apart from the rest. It was like ripping the heart out of the team. Without Renault and Newey, Williams began to slip, first gradually, then rapidly. By the early 2000s, the once dominant force was a shadow of its former self, fighting not just for points, but for survival. As the new millennium dawned, Williams' decline accelerated. The 2000s were a decade of frustration, missed opportunities, and financial strain. Their only victory, Pastor Maldonado's stunning win at the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix, was nothing more than a flash in the pan. But the real story was happening off the track. Formula One was becoming a game of billions, and without the financial clout of a major manufacturer, Williams found themselves outspent, outdeveloped, and outgunned. The cost of competing skyrocketed, and Williams was left desperately trying to keep up. The final nail in the coffin? The loss of key sponsorships, most notably Martini, which pulled out in 2018. Suddenly, Williams wasn't just struggling on the track, they were struggling to survive. By 2018, the once great team had become a backmarker, finishing last in the Constructors' Championship 4 times in 6 years. After years of suffering, it seemed that Williams' story was destined to end in tragedy. But in 2023, a flicker of hope emerged. Williams appointed James Vowles, the strategic mastermind from Mercedes, as their new team principal. With Vowles at the helm, there was a renewed sense of purpose. Could this be the beginning of Williams' resurgence? Vowles didn't just bring experience, he brought a vision. Under his leadership, Williams began to rebuild brick by brick. The team restructured, bringing in new talent, fostering a culture of accountability and focusing on the fundamentals that had once catapulted them into Formula One glory. But the most exciting signs come from their driver lineup. Alex Albon, who signed a multi-year contract extension in 2024, became the bedrock of Williams' rebuilding efforts. With Carlos Sainz set to join in 2025, Williams is assembling a driver lineup that could finally pull them back into the fight. Now all eyes are on 2026, the year that could rewrite the story of Williams. With seismic changes in engine designs and aerodynamic regulations on the horizon, this is perhaps Williams' last chance to claw their way back to the front. Under Vowles' leadership, the team is already laying the groundwork, evaluating potential engine suppliers and preparing for the battle ahead. These new regulations offer a rare opportunity for teams like Williams to level the playing field. If they make the right strategic choices and capitalize on the new rules, 2026 could be the year that Williams begins its climb back to the top. But the competition will be fierce. Teams like McLaren and Aston Martin are also gearing up for their own resurgence. The road ahead won't be easy. Williams will be battling not just against the established giants like Mercedes and Red Bull, but also against a host of other teams hungry for success. To reclaim their former glory, Williams will need to excel in every aspect: car design, strategy, and driver performance. So, will Williams rise again? Formula One is a sport of highs and lows where fortunes can change in a heartbeat. While the pieces are slowly falling into place for a Williams resurgence, the road ahead is fraught with challenges. But for a team with such a storied history, even a return to the midfield would feel like victory. Do you think Williams can reclaim their former glory? Let's discuss in the comments. Your predictions could be spot on. And as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.